Well, hello there. This is the D&D stream you're looking for, and we welcome you to this Penny Dragon Games live stream. My name is Tom, and I will be your DM as you join us for this next chapter of the Candlekeep Mysteries. We are a little depleted in our player numbers tonight. I promise that's me not being too enthusiastic with the TPKs, but we're here ready to play. Penny Dragon now streams across 4 evenings a week with both D&D and occasionally even Pathfinder campaigns over across a mix of campaigns and one-shots. VODs for the one-shots are on this very Twitch channel, whether that's me guiding players through one of our Penny Dragon's own $1 one-shots, or Ryan finish off his Reverend Stargo in style. There's sure to be something that takes your fancy. The latest of these was our own very own Dave, DMing a party including Nerd Poker's own Blaine Capatch into an underground war in Minor Threat Part 2, and there are more one-shots to follow. Tomorrow night, for instance, we'll have The Golden Goose. During the wedding of the year, someone snuck into the halls of the Gnome King Krankengal the 62nd, there we go, and spiked the wine, knocking out all assembled for this special event. It was at this time that one of his many enemies infiltrated the palace and made off with the king's prized war goose. Can our heroes track down the thief, infiltrate their hideout, and retrieve the legendary war goose? Who knows? Join DM Dave and a new cast of characters tomorrow night for a honking good time. He was playing this game at UK Games Expo at the start of the month, and from the next room over, I could hear the cries and yells of happiness. So I think it sounds like a blast, really. If you're wanting to see some of the older one-shots, such as a visit to Taraskik Park or the first part of the Revenant Saga, these can also be found on the Penny Dragon Games YouTube channel, alongside the longer-running campaign arcs from present and past campaigns. Over this weekend, the Cloaks return on their fortnightly slot this Sunday, the 2nd of July. Having exterminated the demonic Morlock Scourge, the party venture deeper beneath Minehelm in pursuit of the mysterious cult, the Obsidian Stone they possess. Who knows what fresh hell awaits them in the darkness? Ben does. He's the DM for that one. He knows what fresh hell's down there. Sadly, due to real life, the Fall of Plaguestone, our usual Tuesday campaign stream, is on hiatus for a time. In place of this Pathfinder 2E campaign, we can expect a mini campaign to start very soon, set in a very famous domain of dread. Sharpen your fangs, feed your bats. Come join us on the 11th of July for DM Carrick's first campaign on stream. Watch this space, and if you're interested in becoming an on-stream player, the best place to start is to keep an eye on the Looking for Groups channel in the Penny Dragon Discord, and there are 1 or 2 games for players right now. However, in place of Plaguestone next week, before Carrick's little campaign starts, we've got the debut of Andy into the DM chair on this channel. The royal wedding is all anyone can think about, and for a mercenary group like yours, that's bad news. Security is tight, money tighter. No one's hiring. So when you get a tip, there's a job for big money happening, there's no stopping you from checking it out. Only when you get there, the prince is waiting for you. And from the sounds of it, he wants you to steal his brother's wedding ring. Maximum security, tight deadlines, and certain death if you fail. Sounds like a good time. Thursdays would normally be our fortnightly jaunt into a Spelljammer homebrew setting. However, Heirs to the Hand is taking a summer hiatus while DM Craig hits the road as part of bands My Son the Hurricanes, touring Canada and America. It looks like it's been a great tour, and we're looking forward to seeing the rest of the road trip on the socials. In its place, however, Ryan will be hosting another episode of Penny for Your Thoughts, where we'll be meeting the newest party to hit our campaign trail, more on which in a moment. Another fortnightly regular next Friday on the 7th of July in the Sophrone Saga, and the party have begun to explore the winter city of Artex, with the cleric Mezellus checking in with his order of less than good news for them, and the barbarian Scales discovering the ice cream store Cones of Cold has closed down under suspicious circumstances. Also, the father of the brothers Grimm has left the city, headed on temple business to the capital of Sophrone. Leaving the use of his townhouse to Mizelu, something is amiss on that 4th floor. It all seems to be going wrong in the city of Artex, and I'm sure that DM Dave is to blame for absolutely everything. Yeah, which is fine. You can also see him as our own goth boy Shadar in the Violet Madness on Sunday 9th of July. In this latest episode of the Violet Madness, the party have arrived in Pethlin, only to find themselves embroiled in escalating tensions between Shadar and Mida. Recognizing the urgent need for resolution, Damon takes charge. and insists that everyone settles their differences with a crucial conversation to mend the fractured party dynamic, naked in a hot tub. Emotions run high, just emotions, as the heated discussion unfolds, but ultimately the power of communication triumphs, mending the once fractured bonds within the group. However, as night descends, Dane's world is turned upside down when an unwelcome visitor invades his room, presenting a deadly ultimatum that threatens to shatter the newfound harmony. DM Mark is responsible for all the ills in that world, and we wish him all the best. A fortnight from today, on July 13th, Dave is back again. We can't get rid of him. This time he's leading his adventures adjacent to the Radiant Citadel. To the Baxi Bard, the party met on the undead-infested island of Garfas. Was true to his word and guided them to the relative safety of a small encampment of survivors in the southeast of the island. The way there, however, was not easy, and the party had to hack and slash through a horde of undead horrors, ultimately attracting the attention of some being of terrible power who sent a squall of necrotic rain their way, eradicating everything in its path. Goddamn bards. And the last of the regular campaigns can be seen on Friday, July 14th in the Consequential Quintrivium, the newest campaign to join the ranks. In a world where your destiny used to have its place, something has changed. Gods walk the lands, monsters of all type roam freely. Do our adventurers dare to take their own fates into their own hands, or will they rely on a world only an image of what it should have been? Find out as we join our group on the path to becoming the heroes or the villains of their own story. Ryan will be our excellent DM for this new campaign, set in that same Reverence universe, I believe. As always, you, the viewer, can influence this game by the use of channel points, bits, and subscriptions, providing up to 3 single-use bless, inspirations, and healing to any of the players. Remembering the DM is a player, of course. Details can be found below in the information stuff right below this screen. A quick plug for Penny Dragon merchandise. Follow the bot in chat for the link to the Stream Elements page where you can get t-shirts, stickers, mugs, and more, showcasing art from the various artists who contribute to the Penny Dragon streams. They all do amazing work. Keep your eyes open as well for a number of Kickstarter updates. The most recent campaign, Patero's Tomb of Adventure, finished at the start of this week with 7 stretch goals reached and smashed through. And backers of the many Kickstarters from over the last year can expect their inboxes to get rather full in the coming weeks. I'd like to do a personal shout out to Dungeon Alchemist, the map program that I'm attempting to use exclusively for all the campaign encounters, this party experience. And thanks to Tabletop Audio, providing all the musical you hear in the background embedded straight into the Roll20 platform. Thanks as well to the creators of Candlekeep Mysteries, who I'm mostly using, but occasionally wandering off stream. And thanks as always to our Technomancer Christian, who is today serving double duty and is keeping the gremlins out of Tract and performing in front of it as well. Well, let us get around to meeting our wonderful players. We'll start with Ben, I think, today.
Hey everybody, I'm Ben. I play the Iron Mind, a psionically inclined human fighter, and raised in a monastic order to be a bodyguard for hire. But when his intended master died before he could reach him, he was left adrift and eventually found his way to this group of adventurers and has spent that time on a journey of discovery and trying to protect them from being killed by were-rats and man-eating books
mimics and all sorts of
mimics.
And we recently did hit level 3 of this party, so
yes.
What did you take?
What did I take? This was a level 3 I had been looking forward to since the inception of the character, because it's really one of those times where it's a subclass that really comes on at level 3. And I took a Psi warrior subclass from Tasha's Cauldron, so psionic warrior, and so much of in first level I took magic initiate as his feat, so I could get mind sliver and magic missile to get a little bit of flavor them a little bit psionically. So yeah, he's got telekinetic shields and telekinetically powered attacks. It's all good stuff. So yeah, he's going to be getting his Jedi on.
Excellent stuff. So Richard, you've just gained an inspiration from
thank you.
Ranger 113. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
How
much.
did you roll on health, Ben? Do you remember?
How did I roll on health? Oh god, that was a while. What was I?
I can always skip back. I don't remember how you did. If I'm honest, I should check.
What is that? I rolled a d6. That's not health.
Definitely wasn't D6. That's fine. We can skip past if we're not quite remembering. Yeah, I think our Salmon of Knowledge one shot may have pushed that one very far back.
I think I may have, if I'm mistaken, I may have been very boring and taken
average. To be fair, for a frontline fighter, average makes more sense. I'm always of the things.
I did want to.
Because you really don't want your frontline fighter to be rolling 2s on their health
especially,
upgrades.
Yeah. You're like, okay, well, that's I've sort of screwed everybody there. I'm not really being a very good meat shield if I. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm almost certain I took average. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Let's move around my screen to Dave, who is next. Who's your character?
Hi. So I'm Dave. I'm playing Sir Richard Brighthorn, dashingly handsome young noble, fifth in line for his father's throne, who realised he was actually fifth in line for a life of boredom, and he fled his life of privilege for one of adventure. Richard is quite naive, but highly skilled with his rapier and wit, and has a particular affinity for picking locks, but more about that later.
Lovely. And level 3 for you. What did we pick, Sir Richard?
Tell you how, chaps. He picked the swashbuckler rogue.
Swashbuckler rogue.
So,
marvelous.
Yeah, I must remember. What's that?
I said, what else for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I must remember about rakish audacity. I'll stick it into the. Oh my god, it's gone. There it is. That thing. So he can get sneak attack on creatures that are within 5 feet of him, as long as there's no other creatures within 5 feet of him, and he doesn't have a disadvantage in the attack roll. So I have to try and remember that. And if I don't, please somebody shout out in chat.
I'll try and remember if you're engaged in a one-on-one duel.
Yes,
I like that.
yeah. Thank you. And also, I'm painfully boring, and I just took the average. I always take average.
I mean, to be fair, you're running him as more of a not front line, but you're going to melee more than range. So again, it makes sense. Yeah. And I'm fairly certain that Brew also went for average on account. And Christian.
Yeah, I did indeed.
Give us an introduction to Brew.
Hey everyone, I'm Christian, and I'm playing Brew. He's a Wood Elf monk. He grew up in a monastery, but liked to sneak out at night and spend his evenings in the local taverns. Until his monastery got attacked, and he decided to venture out and find those responsible. And for
as he was based in Waterdeep, that's a lot of taverns to go for.
Yeah. For level 3, I took Way of the Drunken Master. So that gives me Drunken technique. So if I use Flurry of Blows, I gain the benefit of a disengage, and my speed increases by 10 feet for that turn. And I think monks at level 3 also get deflect missiles. Yeah. It's cool.
Yep. The dope monk shit starts here now. You heard it first. This is where it's going to be. There's going to be Sir Richard and Brew just wandering around the battlefield, however they want to go to. Yeah. And then over the top of them will be the Iron Mind just silently leaving.
The dope drunk shit.
Everything from now, we're going to be in 10 by 10 rooms, and that's it. There's really no one outdoors anymore. It's all in corridor.
Even if you do land a hit on them, there is always the chance that as a reaction, Iron Mind can throw up the telekinetic shield. They have to be within 30 feet of him, though, so they can't be too far away.
It's a whole bunch of absolute rubbish coming my way for the next 17 levels.
I think it might be damage reduction as opposed to AC, though.
It's all rubbish, is what it is. I won't go through what the other 3 people have done. We will pick up what they are. For those who haven't been here before, Thron is a halfling sorcerer, wild magic. We've managed to avoid the fireball in the room so far, but there's always a chance he'll roll that wonderful number on his wild magic surges. Ari is our half-elf bard. I won't spoil what subclass she went into, but she seems to be coming to being Team Mother, whether she wants to be or not. And then Mortar and Pestle are our lizard folk wizard combination in one body. Who knew? But that's 6. Let's just find out what they're up to, what they've been doing. They are currently in the employ of the Great Library of Candlekeep as a roving squad of adventurers tasked in the locating of and retrieval thereof of unique tomes, scrolls, and similar works, often with a little or a lot of the arcane and almost as much danger involved. Having returned from a recent journey to Baldur's Gate, the party were made aware that one of the prophecies of Alundro the Seer had been deciphered, which spoke of a lost wizard's tower sunk into the Chelimber swamp on the other side of Faerun. However, any arcane knowledge held therein would be lost forever, if not retrieved within the next 4 days, before the moon reaches its zenith. As the Chelimber swamp is several hundred miles away, our party were hustled to a teleportation circle outside the library and bamfed through, which is where we will swing onto a map now, and you can see where you can find yourselves. That's the one I want. Look. You find yourselves, as your kind of vision comes back, as your stomach readjusts from that journey, you should find yourselves. I can't see your tokens. There we go. So slight change to make. It's Mortram Pestle has not followed you on this journey. So I guess remove him from this. But you find yourselves in this very quiet village early in this morning. Maybe just a little bit later in the day than when you left. I don't know why my music hasn't swapped. Let me change that. You notice that Auri and Fronny look very kind of queasy from that journey you've just taken. And they are not decorating the floor, but they're definitely giving it some serious consideration at this point. Let's have that one running, I think. Okay.
Is there any way to tell that we are where we were meant to land? Where we
at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any. You don't see anyone around you at this moment.
Okay.
You do hear that there are sounds of a smithy working off to your west. You can hear the sound sort of ching, ching, ching coming from the building south and west of you. You can hear the sound of some sort of woodwork happening in the building north and east of you. The building directly north of you appears to be a barn. There appears to be a tavern to the south.
Okay. Before we left, like, did anyone describe to us what what we should see or where we were going?
Before you were left, you were told you were aiming for the village of Parnast.
Okay, so this is the village. So this is good.
On the far side of the Cloud Peaks, almost not too far away from the Alnorok Desert. And from there, you believe Auri has a map that should guide you into the swamp and the presumed location of this tower.
Okay. So I think I'll go for a wander.
I'm just going to pull Auri and Thorny across here as they're doing their... As you're starting to move out, you notice from the building down here, and I've forgotten to... so as you get to that point, you're looking through, you can see you're looking into a smithy. Inside is you just see one human who appears to be working on, you guess, agricultural tools. You don't have any personal experience of them, particularly?
Shit.
Richard
trips over his ego.
What's that roll? 13. Yes, as you're kind of trying to hide at the window, the gentleman stretches, looking up, and just sees you through the window. And there's a moment of he's just staring you straight down, and then he just seems to not care and just goes back to his work.
He will sort of Homer Simpson back into the hedge.
Yeah. I mind. As you get to that point, the door below you opens, and out walks someone whose token I've lost. That's disappointing. A half-elf figure. She seems fairly young, reddish hair. She kind of steps out from the thing looks round, starts heading off, and then catches sight of you. And you see her; she jolts a little, and then she kind of hunches over a little, and then nods as she goes past. You down with a new caravan? She asks you.
No. This one is. We are here from Candlekeep.
Okay. She doesn't stop moving. She carries on walking to the north.
She's walking north. Yeah, he's not sure what sort of like why the
Yeah, that's fine.
rest of them just to sort of be like reports that they've bit Buzz Lightyear. Who's have encountered life forms.
No, I mean she nods. She seems quite quiet, and she just carries on walking upwards and headed up the northern road. You will notice if you watch her for a moment, she goes into the building up here, up and left. So the last building on the left. You look beyond this village as you look, you can see there are basically go straight to farmlands. This appears to be the extent of this village. This is a very small village that you're in. Yeah, that's probably about all you can see from where you are now. Richard, as you get to there, are you opening the door to go in?
Yeah, why not? It looks like an inn to me. Is it?
It is a tavern. There is no second store to this one. It is just a tavern. Stepping in, you can see there are two humans working here. There's an older gentleman with what once was red hair is now obviously on its way towards grain. Thick mutton chop sides to it. You can see starting to recede the hairline at the back. There's a younger woman. You would see some sort of familiar resemblance. Good morning to you, sir.
Hello.
Didn't realize a new caravan had come in. What can I get you?
I'm sorry. What? Yes, right. The caravan. Sorry, my roll 20's gone real slow here. Cool.
It is a big map. It might take a moment.
Yeah, cool. No, I'm not. I suppose we just have one for the road, shall we? And your finest ale, please.
He nods over at Elspeth. Get the gentleman a drink. Which side are you traveling in from? Are you going out towards the desert, or have you come back from there?
Oh, we're headed towards I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm more of a
You're just the hired hand, help
protecting the caravan, if you will. I just sit my little ass down in the back of on the tail of the wagon, dangle my legs as we go along, and then just stick people with the pointy end of my rapier.
That's fair. That's fair. That's all. Is it Azam leading the caravan this time, or are you with a different train?
Oh, it could be. I'm not. I forget his name. It's all the same to me. I just call him boss. You see.
Very good. He likes a bit of respect, Azam, if it's that one. Yes. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. You have to look at the adventures about you, in fact, judging by your different armaments. And
would you like a pint, I don't mind?
Yes, and he looked to. He doesn't know the innkeeper or the bartender's name, but he says, yes, water, clean, please.
I mean, you passed the well out there where your comrades are, trying to. They look a little.
Oh.
But, that's what you need. I mean, I'm sure we can send you out with a glass if you want some. We got some here. He sees a little kind of idea of non-alcohol. What? And for you, sir? Looking over towards Brew.
Brew will point to his own water skin and pretend to take a big swig of wine or something from it. He pretends to be drunk all the time from now on, but it's always water.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There's that moment of just that flash of, I was hoping to make a bit more money out of this one, but
I do not believe we're allowed to consume outside food or beverages on the premises.
It just seems a bit odd that the adventuring. I'm sure you're adventuring party. We've seen one or two parties that come through in the past. I get the feeling you might be just the caravans, or is there another place you're seeking while you're traveling?
No, just the caravan. He sort of catching up now, having just walked in
Okay.
after Dave's after Richard's deception.
Okay. He kind of looks you all over again, and I presume normally the eye mind, the insignia of Candlekeep would be visible somewhere about your person.
I think so.
The barkeep looks over to it. See the insignia of Candlekeep. You're a long way from your base of operations, so
Well, it's
that's just coincidental. Our herbalist did some work down that way a couple of years back, so
Is he just shooting the shit, or is he like is he overly
make
inquisitive?
an insight check.
Seems very, very inquisitive to me. Insight. That's oh Jesus. That's better than -1, I suppose. Marginally. That's an 8.
yeah.
Hard to tell. As far as you can tell, he seems just making conversation.
If it would be possible, Tom, I know obviously because I was going to say, if it would be possible for Iron Mind to make an insight check himself, more so he's cautious as to whether this guy is hostile or would have hostile intentions towards.
I'll let you
whether
do
this
I'll let
is-
you do an insight check for that one.
whether this
I
is like
presume
our
Rich has been
safety,
more
like-
suspicious about his intentions, and you're more worried about what his
like is
ambition
this,
is towards you as a
or maybe does
that's
he
fine.
not like Candlekeep? With his herbalist, is it like? Oh, sorry, I don't know why that rolled at
12.
advantage.
As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
Yeah,
seem to hold a
there's
grudge against
nothing triggers
Candlekeep.
anything that makes you any more suspicious than you would be meeting someone new.
Mm.
You can see his daughter just kind of does that eye rolling thing of, I mean, she looks to be in her young 20s, but you get the feeling that she's still sort of outside teenage, and she's just kind of like, I'll leave you to it then, Da. And she goes and heads out to the door and disappears into a different room.
How much of that ale set me back?
The ale will have cost you 5 copper.
Okay, I'll give him a silver. Say, keep the change, my friend.
Thank you kindly. I mean, is there anything I can do for you? We have a little bit of food, probably, I'm sure.
No, I'm fine. Just happy with the ale. What's it's the Chelimbers or the Chelimber?
There's
Is where we're
Chelimber. Yes.
I'll say. Heard any news from the Chelimber, my friend?
That's a very rough landscape you're headed for there. It's
Yes.
not a marshland anyone wants to go to.
No, I believe my boots will come back fairly ruined.
I'm absolutely certain they would. It's a very. You headed down to the Chelimber then for a few days.
Yes. Just a little bit of a job to do down there as well. And so, how's the road between here and there? Is it?
There's no road.
How's the landscape then between here and there?
Well, you got a choice
is it-
between going through the Forgotten Forest or across the peaks and then into the marshland itself.
Right.
I have to say I've not done that route. I mentioned the herbalist. You best talk to Alwinian. She has done that journey.
Maybe you have done that journey and you just forgot it.
No, I really no.
Oh, right. Okay, yes, I see.
You get the feeling like he's trying to work out what the joke is and trying to. Okay.
Well, he'll sink the ale and he'll go, thank you, my friend. All we needed it. And he'll just put it
Yeah, so
to the boys.
head back up towards Alparnest and last building on your left on the way out. You'll see the garden at the north end.
Okay.
On his way out, Iron Mind has gotten the tankard and filled it from the well and returns the tankard and pays the innkeep the 5 copper, whatever he was charging for the ale. So he just
I mean,
use of the mug. And
if you're sure, sir. I mean, your man there already put down enough. Okay. Make a perception check for me as you turn anyone who's there when Iron Mind does that.
Yeah.
including
notes here.
Iron Mind or
Yeah, you can include Iron Mind. That's fine.
Perception check. Where is it? There it is. +3. Come on, Richard. I'll take the 22.
Nice. all of you notice that the extra 5 copper goes into his pocket and not into behind the bar.
Good man. That was a tip.
And he notices you all see him and he has the thing to look at, somewhat embarrassed.
I enjoy it, my friend.
So not
Tally
the
ho.
owner then, presumably.
Sorry, Ben, I missed that.
I mean, so not the owner then, presumably, the bartender.
You haven't seen anyone else, so you don't know
Yeah.
either which way.
He's well, so I assume he gave. Yeah, where did he say the
So he has sent you up
was?
to shift would do. That one there, this building over here is the one he sent you to.
Well, we saw the young red-haired half-elf woman.
Yes.
Oh, I guess I'll make my way over there.
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
Is that red hair like ginger or red hair like red-headed half-elf?
Very similar to a red-headed half-elf.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, Richard, you were saying? Or you were asking?
I mean, does this town or village seem unusually quiet, or does it,
Looking around from what you can see here, your guess is it just seems very small.
Okay.
It feels. I mean, you're used to the bustle. You like the bustle and things going round, but on your travels, you have gone through these little small. I mean, this is a hamlet. This isn't a village, really. Okay. You're thinking, in fact, that you noticed there was a very kind of small, the largest sort of L-shaped building off over to the east would appear to be some sort of adventuring shop. But I mean, it's a single-story tavern. There doesn't seem to be anywhere in that tavern you could have stayed as an inn.
Is it the day? Would it be right to assume that maybe just a lot of the townsfolk are out?
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see that in the fields beyond the town, to the north and to the east, there are people toiling away in the fields. It just feels like it's a small backwater element of the country, really. That point where people who are actually working out in the fields or doing tasks and the thing aren't just standing around chit-chatting. You can still hear the smithy going. You can still hear the sound of someone working on wood. Something wooden off to the side. Are you going in, Sir Richard?
He'll knock on the door. He'll rap with one of his golden rings and his fingers.
So you hear from around the side of the building, there's a 1 moment, I'll be right there.
No problem.
Presuming you're listening in, you'll hear after a moment, there's an odd kind of swishing rhythmic sound that comes through. Now, Boris, keep your eyes closed and stay down behind the counter, okay? Come in, I'm in now, you can come in.
Hello.
Good morning, lovely to see you. My name's Owidian, it's a pleasure to meet you. So what you see before you is a furbolg in a wheelchair.
Okay.
You won't know how to judge ages of a furbolg. I'm not sure you've ever encountered them.
Nope.
She seems quite cheerful, quite happy. Has all the limbs you would account for, but as very definitely is she's in a wheelchair. What can I do for you?
The gentleman in the inn or the tavern sent us over here looking for maybe a little bit of advice or traveling through the Forgotten Forest.
Oh, that's been a couple of years since I last went down through that way. Where are you seeking to get to?
We're heading to the Chelimber.
Oh, you'll have to prepare to get your boots wet, I'm afraid. I've lost the accent. Where's it gone? The marshland is very wet.
Do you have anything I could buy something that might cover them up?
Or like a boat with a big fan on the back.
Yeah.
Well, I knew someone who might be able to do that. Your best bet would be go back across to the trading post and talk to Valdar.
I'll pop over there
shop in the area. Shops.
I
mean, if you need any of the more herbalist side of things, I can manage that for you.
Ooh. Let me just see how I am for potions of healing and that.
Would you rather than the Forrest, would you perhaps recommend traveling to the Chelimber via the peaks?
I mean, they're both much of a muchness, really. It's whichever way you prefer. You're liable to run into goblins and hobgoblins either which way you travel. The giants aren't there anymore. We managed to deal with all of those a few years back, and the majority of them, orcs and goblins, we got rid of. But there were a few when we went down that way. Is there something you're seeking in the Chelimber? Seems an odd place to go to.
He won't say if he'll defer to Richard.
It's official Candlekeep business. So.
Candlekeep, I haven't been there in quite a few years.
Oh,
I
you've
was
been
in
there,
Berrygost for a time. Yes, I was.
Very good.
You were lovely.
How did you like it?
I remember I preferred the quietness of here. It's a little bit too bustly for me, really.
Oh, I see. Yes, I like the bustle. Anyway, very well. Do you have any potions of healing?
Let me just check it out for you.
Thank you.
And she wheels around, and you look in the shells, and you can see there's not a huge amount on these shells. There's kind of an assortment sizes of vase in an assortment of colours. She has a kind of a look around, a bit of a clatter, and will. Here we go. I managed to find. What's that one? Boris, put that down.
Who's Boris?
You noticed she was behind the counter at that point, and it was to something out of sight.
He'll kind of lean against the counter and just see if he can see. Not obviously looking over, but he'll just kind of lean in on the counter.
Roll me a nature check.
Nature? Oh my god. 7.
There is something lying down behind the counter. Black, scaly. You can see at least 3 legs on the one side of the body. You'd have to lean over more to get a proper look at it.
Mortar, pestle, get in here.
But yeah, she clinks down 3 bottles of a familiar red liquid. I've just got the 3, I'm afraid. I'm surprised I've got this much.
Yes, I only expected to buy one. And what's the price of these, my dear?
Oh, I mean, how much are you looking to offer me? It's been a while since I've sold some of these. Hang on a moment now. Got it written down somewhere. And you can see she's still like doing that thing and like going, there's a book that I had somewhere, this thing.
Good. I mean, what's the guy? Research is not going to try and cheat this woman. He's a rogue. He's not a wrong'un. So like, what's the going rate? Is it 50?
50 would be the standard going rate in Faerun.
Yeah, well, he'll see what I tell you what, I'll give the going rate that I get in Candlekeep, shall I? 50 gold pieces. How does that sound?
That would be marvellous. That would do really nicely.
Excellent. Well, there you go. And he will. He has a lot of his gold divided up into like 5s, 10s, 15s, and 20s in small little pouches, like little dice bags. So he'll just chuck a 50 onto the.
That's how you can do a very quick knuckle dusters thing if you have to. Just
exactly. Kind of like nunchucks even. That's the word I'm thinking of.
I like that Richard is like Star-Lord. You know, he's an asshole, but not, and I quote, 100% a dick. Not 100% a dick.
A jerk with a heart of gold is what we're looking at.
He's not going to cheat.
Okay. Are you buying all 3, or are you just buying the one?
He can't afford all 3, so he'll do.
Brew will also.
He'll take 1.
Buy 1.
Yeah.
Iron Mind would, but he can afford 1, but he's saving up till he gets to 200 gold, so he can get some splint mail, so he can upgrade his.
Nice.
That's absolutely fair.
Would you like a loaner? He'd lend you. I mean, how close are you to?
I'm just actually going to check Auri's funds and see if she's got enough to buy the 3rd.
Yeah, she may want to. Iron Mind has currently 95 gold.
He'll lend you 50 if you'd like, and you can just throw it back to me whenever you can.
That's fine. He does have a potion of healing on him. Still.
So I'll give you 50 gold, Ben. Help you get up there.
Oh, for the
for the split mail.
I don't think the Iron Mind would accept. He would refuse. So it's up to whether or not Richard wants to reverse pickpocket him.
No, I think given how Iron Mind and Richard discussed friendship the last time, Sir Richard would be he would sort of invoke that idea.
I think you get this sense that he's learning a bit. Ironmind still maybe seeing it a little bit as like an obligation, like he's taking the money. It's almost like this is a thing that friendship entails. I must do.
Puts it into a separate pouch and very carefully caps it into a separate pouch, visibly going.
Yes. Well, look, you can get that back to me whenever you can. It's no problem at all. I still have a few bob left. He's like 22 gold. I mean, that's more than enough for inns and stuff like that. So.
Sir Richard.
No, my friends, no problem. Can't wait to see you in your shiny new armor.
I don't think the other two have enough to. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I should give you more money at some point.
Similarly, Ironmind, if the party wanted it, would be offering up. I'll put the armor on hold, but he does also see it as to the good of the party if he is as
the joys of tracking down.
Raven Ranger says, offer the top price and pay it in copper.
Is there anything else I can get for you? Yeah.
Do you have anything called Alchemist's Fire?
Let me check. And I do have the one bottle, if that will be of use to you.
What's the damage for that? As fire to do?
I believe that's probably around the same price I'd have bought.
Oh, no. Do you know what? Let's leave that there. Probably trip over and land on it. So
I still have a heal.
I've heard stories along that way. It's a dangerous one to carry with you if you haven't got the right precautions.
Tell me, who's your friend down there hiding behind the counter?
Oh, this is Boris. Do you want to come around and say hello?
I'd love to. Where is he?
If you go around the counter, you can see that along there is this. You can now see there is this black, 8-legged lizard-like creature with its eyes firmly closed.
Have I? Oh, the nature check was to see if I knew what it was. Oh God.
Yep.
I think I know what it is.
It's going to peer over and take.
Do me a nature check if the Iron Mind wishes to see if he does.
Oh, sorry. Can I do another one now? I can see it properly, or
yeah, go for it. He's just a big softy,
3.
really.
He's lovely, isn't he? Look at him. Boris, you say?
Yes, we found him. Little encounter with his parents, and he was left over at the end of it. There was him, and there was his brother.
What does he eat?
Anything he wants.
Where is his brother?
Good.
His brother went with one of my party. They didn't come. They stayed in Berrigas. They liked it more. You don't remember any ruckus of this thing from when you were in Berrigas. No one had mentioned any of this sort of creature.
Okay.
So she does go on to say that would have been. Oh wow, that would have been about 4 years ago now. So doesn't the time fly? Yes, no, it'd be longer than that actually. It'd be actually nearly 8 years. Sorry.
Very well. Look, thank you, my dear, and Marshall, tally-ho and ta-ta.
You're always welcome. Lovely to see some new faces.
Thank you very much. I'll pop out. He'll kind of, as he's going out, throw over the shoulders. Anywhere else I should visit in this lovely little place before I leave?
Well, I mean, you've got the Shrine of Axes if you want to say a little thing to a god before you go. And you said it's the trading post, and unless someone's got a wagon that needs fixing, there's probably not many other places for you here.
The only wagon I know is Nanny back in the day, but yes. Well,
She
smiles politely, but doesn't seem to understand the reference.
He'll head towards the trading post once everyone's
last minute, and he's just asking any last minute advice about dangers in the Forbidden Forest beyond the goblins and hobgoblins. Paths we should avoid.
Forest. Well, the only other thing we came across there were 1 or 2 fey pathways, but
would they be obvious to the person?
Well, we didn't walk into any ourselves when we went.
Stumble into them.
I mean, no one's reported missing any time recently, so probably not. They might have closed again. Not that accident's going all over the place. Good Lord, I apologise.
Well,
no, she doesn't seem to indicate there's anything more to worry about.
Yeah. She'll thank her again, say good day, and
Yeah.
accompany the group to the trading post.
Yep. You leave her to the sounds of her giving this lizard-like creature under the thing a scritch. uh,
Where are
Yeah.
we going? Where's the
so
trading
your
post?
head. So the trading post is this building over this
Forest.
side. So I've just realised I've built wrong. There should be one of those windows should be a door. Let me change that. I need that one. Let's get rid of. Nope, nope, that one. No, when you do all sorts of things wrong, I've just hit that point. Get rid of you. Delete that. Let's get rid of this window here for now. That should be a door. Doesn't matter which one it is. But you come to this in the trading post. You can hear there's a bit of bustle as you walk in, Sir Richard. It largely seems to be from the young halfling children who are playing tag, possibly, in this space.
Sorry, which building is it? I'm not sure I'm
So
at
the
the
building
right.
directly to your south at this point.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm in the process of putting the
That's okay.
door on that should have been.
Just where I am there, is it?
Yeah. No, it's just due south of where the Iron Mind is.
Oh, sorry, there we go.
Can you see me?
Hello. I see that.
So I mean, in there you can see there are sort of shells along the outside. There's two halfling children who are running around playing some sort of game, and there's a fairly tired-looking, middle-aged halfling gentleman who looks up as you walk in. Hello there. Name's Valda. Trading post. Presume you're after supplies.
Valda, is it?
Just a coincidence.
I see. Yeah, just for the record, I'm not taking my eyes off those little shits. So if they're trying to get handsy with anything.
No, I mean they seem to be running back. You see them sort of running into the door behind, and you hear the sound. They're doing, quite what they're playing. One seems to be chasing the other, waving like a small wooden sword.
The Iron Mind is very uncomfortable around children. They are chaotic and doesn't understand. In the words of Mrs. Trunchbull, glad I never was one. So Iron Mind wasn't much play involved as a kid.
So he looks over to you and asks what you got. You looking around, you can see standard adventurers gear. Nothing that from a meta point would be 50 gold or more in the PHP, and nothing of any kind of you can guess all the kind of liquid based stuff is with the herbalist. So all Winnie looks like she does all the kind of healing side of things and the dyes and the poisons and that sort of it, and he seems to have the rest. There's no real armor or weaponry here, but you do see things like mattocks and adze and pitchforks. Which, to be fair, Sir Richard, you saw the smithy working on earlier that day. So you imagine the smith probably leaves his wares over here for. But yeah, as you're offered, if there's anything you can see, he will make you a deal on it.
I'll pop over to my friend. Do you like my boots?
Very fine boots.
So do I. So I would like to keep them safe when we get into this Chelimber place. So do you need anything I could place over them to sort of extend their lifespan, as it were?
Let me have a look around what I got.
I'm rather fond of them.
It's Chelimbers. I mean, do you want a fresh pair of boots to wear, or do you want just some sort of covering for what you're?
Do you know what? I don't think I'll buy a fresh set of boots.
I'll head over onto this way. There's nothing as fancy as what you got there, sir.
No. I'll just place these in my backpack and just throw them on.
Yes, I now need to go and find the cost of a regular price of boots.
Hi.
Roll me a d20.
Let's see what I get. Here's your d20 for you. That's a that's a 2.
So he only has 2 sizes, and you're pretty certain that neither would actually fit you.
Yeah, I see.
One is set for halfling, and one is set for someone of a larger foot size than you.
Okay, well, that's a bummer, so he'll just go, very well, if you have any kind of
Sorry about
covenants.
that. I'm sure we can get some made up in a few days, I guess. Or
No,
I'll
no,
buy
no,
a
no,
pair and piggyback you.
yes, I'll just take some covers.
there's a momentary thing as the children run around again.
Keep an eye on my
Sorry
coin
about
purse.
that. They don't seem to have any interest in you. You're just extra obstacles for them to run around in their game.
Cool. So yeah, he'll just try and get some
your
sort
pockets previously.
What's that?
I don't think I'd already picked your pockets previously,
Yeah.
you children, this campaign or something.
Yeah, he'll just look for some covers or some sort of protection for his boots.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be able to work out some sort of. You'd find like sort of leather overshoes that would go on as a kind of more.
Cool. Yeah, he'll take those.
Let's say it's put them at 4 silver.
Fine.
They look fairly durable. Look like they're long-lasting ones.
Cool.
Yeah, and in the village this size, he can't do shoddy materials because
Yeah,
everyone knows exactly where he lives.
Coolaboola. That's he's happy out now, and probably take some rations. How long do we expect the journey to take?
From the journey you've had on that bit, your guess would be 3 to 4 days there, and you're not entirely certain whether you need to come back here or what happens to things afterwards, but it's 3 to 4 days to get to.
Yeah, he'll just buy 10 days rations then.
That's fine. PHB prices on those, and
Coolaboola, yeah.
anyone who wants to do this on small purchases, you can just add them in. Don't need to go into the nitty gritty.
Cool.
For standard gear items.
So 5 silver for 1 day, 50 silver, 5 gold. Jesus.
Does he have any advice for traveling through the marshlands and stuff?
I mean, my first thing would be don't. Otherwise, I mean, Alwinian went for it once upon a time. So any suggestions she's had would be there. I mean, don't go to sleep in the water because that's always uncomfortable. Watch out for stuff on the way. There's still a few goblins and orcs from all that nonsense years back floating around. Doesn't seem to be any giants anymore, at least, which is something.
What do you mean that stuff years back? What happened?
That whole business with the giants at the turn of the
business?
decade. The whole thing, all the giants were all up and about. We had a massive castle parked just outside the village for a time.
What do you mean parked?
I mean, they parked it. They flew the castle in. They landed it slapped down.
Flying castle.
Yes. Honest as
Have you been at the mushrooms?
as Torm is my witness, sir. Just trying to think who is the justice god. Here, Torm, whichever one of the two it is. Yeah, it's right there.
Sure.
And then I don't know. If it was there for a time, and then they flew on.
I see.
And then a Winian's mob turned up, and they helped us defend the village from an orc invasion.
I see. Very good. Well, fascinating. And
make a history check.
Yeah, I don't know. But Dave doesn't really know. I assume it's Storm King's Thunder, is it? I'm only guessing. History. I'm good at this. Not today, 13.
13. I mean, 13 is enough. Yeah, this is the Shattering of the Ordinong, which happened sort of from where you were about 9 years ago, where the general details of it are not known, but something happened to the giants. They were a lot more visible in around Faerun for a time, and then they weren't. We presume beaten. The stories of various adventuring bands working to infiltrate various key giant installations around Faerun, and some sort of order was restored.
I see. Right, so I'm telling you, chaps, I'm happy out.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
So we asked Alwinian about the forest. Did we ask Alwinian about the Chelimber?
I don't believe you did ask her about the marsh
because I
itself.
mentioned that to us. So yeah, he'll pop back over and just by the way,
What can I do for you? Nice to see you again. Look, Boris, he's returned.
Yes. The
Don't look, Boris.
Chelimber.
Don't look. That's just bad.
Yeah. Yes, the Chelimber, the swampy part of this place. Anything we should look out for or not?
I mean, is there someone in the Chelimber you're looking for, particularly, or do you?
Were we told there's a sunken tower?
You do know there is a sunken tower, yes.
Yes. Some sort of tower, sunken tower.
Oh, you're looking for. I know where you're looking for. I think.
Oh, very good.
We had a bit of a look for that ourselves a few years back.
Did you find it?
No, we found an island where we thought it would be, but there was a little bit too much growth over it, and then there was an issue with a water weird, and we had to vacate the premises quite hastily.
A water weird?
The water itself came absolutely to life and chased us around. We weren't able to properly get to the island to have a look.
I see. And do these creatures have any sort of magical powers that we should be aware of?
Well, that one was. Let me find the name of what that one's called. That one's a bit of a bugger because he comes back to life. See, after there's a whole thing with the swamp. It's how much do you know of the history of the Chelimber?
Absolutely nothing.
The Chelimber, you see, it didn't used to be there. There used to be just the wizard's tower, and then there was a fight between these two wizards, and one of them was very big into elemental magics, and he lost. And when he lost control of a lot of his elemental abilities, and so there was a swamp. Or marsh, I suppose. I lose the track of the two.
I see.
No, there's this water weird comes back. I mean, depends where he is in his cycle, I guess. He comes back every once in a while.
All right.
I mean, we defeated him more than once, but he kept coming back.
How quickly would he come back?
I would say it was so.
Matter of minutes.
It was various. We would look days before he'd come back.
Days.
So we had
annihilate him. We should have at least a day or two to ourselves. Easy.
Yes, so they were looking for an island somewhere towards the middle. What you got to be aware of is you lose a lot of your visibility when you go to the swamp. There's a lot of cast off rising up, and you can't see more than about 60 foot or so.
Oh, I see.
Then it's just fully obscured. But you don't. That's true.
Yes.
That's not all. I mean, it happens to everyone. There's no way to get around it unless you fly, I suppose. But then I suspect the ground mist would just obscure the view on the thing. But yes, you're looking for about a day's journey into the swamp. You're looking for an island. That's where we thought it was. We just couldn't get to it.
Very good. And how many of you were there?
There were 4 of us in my party.
I see.
But there were 5 originally, then I think. But 2 of them left, and then another one joined. It's a little complicated.
All right. What was your role in the party?
Well, I'm a druid by learning.
Oh, I see.
So, I'm not sure what my role was. My role was moral support, I think I was there for.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. And you'll go and relay that to the gang.
Yep. Ari's recovered enough to kind of look at the map, and that's a one day in about matches the details that she has on the rough map that they were able to pick out of whichever book as they had gone through it all. And if there's nothing else you need in Harnast.
No, I'm happy to go as long as everyone else is.
I will chuck you on there. For this first day of the journey, you're going to be traveling through sort of grasslands. I will say, as you head immediately south of the village, you do see this crater. And you can actually see the bottom left of it on this map if you head down that way. The crater is about 2 miles across and about sort of 40, 50 feet deep. Easy enough to skirt around it, but this idea of this giant's castle that fly, now you see the crater, you're like, oh, maybe, because this is a very big, and you can see slightly south of that, you can see where a stream has gone along and just suddenly falls into this crater, and it kind of drains in the center into a small sinkhole. And the road that leads south out of the village just goes to this crater, just stops.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, you can ignore the crater. You can just carry on walking around the south if you want.
Yeah.
If I can have a survival check from whoever is helming this expedition to start with. This
I
one is
can do
not
that.
hard. Go for it.
Hey.
Hey.
Very nice.
Nice.
Let's. So
Stop
let's
drinking.
so I mean, the web route you head out is pretty good. Copy you all for the moment. Let's throw you onto the large map so you can kind of see where you are in relation to the rest of Faerun for the moment. Book. So you are all the way. Shift click. That's worked.
Wow.
You are all the way at the very top.
Yeah.
So you can see, and this map is to scale, so you can kind of see where you're going. At the moment, you're kind of just entering into that square. As you're kind of skirting along the foothills of the Cloud Peak Mountains, of what you take to be the foothills mountains. You can see ahead of you where they come down. The foothills will long way ahead. Will go into the Forgotten Forest. This first day of travel, there doesn't seem anything that in any way affects you. Once you're a couple of miles out from Parnas, you don't see any other souls, animals. You can hear sort of birds, and you're aware there's still wildlife around you, but you don't come across anything. There's no signs of life. You get to that point at the end of the first day's travel where you're on that map. I presume you're taking a rest, or are you going to push on to the evening?
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, you've got time to get down to. As long as you're into the marsh by day 4, you should be able to get there within your time
Day
limit.
4. With that 25 survival, do we find like
You say you absolutely,
abandoned like palace to say it?
You find an abandoned cabin
Cabin
that
in the woods.
still has a stack of wood around the back. It's slightly sort of moss covered, but it's good enough. Yeah, I mean, with that, you have somewhere that you can settle down for the night. You can all stretch out your bedrolls. Fronny and Auri definitely, whatever's happened, that teleportation something on there doesn't seem to have.
Okay.
They both seem to be struggling with the effects of that teleportation a little, so they've been very quiet.
Okay.
They've kept up with you through the day, but they're not definitely at their best for whatever reason.
I'm happy to take the last watch if anyone wants to take the first watch. I don't mind.
I'm going to say on this first one, I'm going to let you say this night passes without incident, whether you take watches or otherwise. And then the next morning, it is up to you whether you go along the plains or go up into the mountains.
So what do we think?
I vote plains.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're happy to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go that way.
So you will move on into that square there. I'm going to say let's take a quick 5-10 minute break now.
Great.
And so all of you watching, thank you for staying with us. We will be back very soon, and we shall pick up exactly where we left off. See you in a moment.
1.
And we're back. Hello there. We have returned. Our party are making their way south from the village of Harnast with the aim to get into the marsh of Chelimber to find a sunken wizard's tower. As we join them, it is the start of the second day of their timetable. And I should very much like for one of them to roll a d20.
Not me.
But your last D20 roll was so good.
Yeah.
I'll fire
Natural
one
one. You turn around and go north again because you've forgotten to.
in.
Come on, big man. Oh, look at that.
17. Okay. So
That
the
could be good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah.
cloud cover is slightly less than it was yesterday. So the sun is a little bit more visible in the sky as you make your way through the. By now you're into grasslands. These have never been attempted to be tamed for agriculture. These just seem to be the kind of loose grasses that come off the foothills of the mountains and in this kind of almost tundra-ish region. But yeah, it seems to be going fairly well in the bits. Make me a survival check if you're leading us through.
Yeah, that I can do.
Instinctively seen if someone has
Oh, nice.
guidance on that. We didn't have it. 9. Okay. I mean, fortunately, in this one, it's the terrain is not too difficult in this area. You just need to go south. You can see the sun. So you can see as the day progresses, about the only kind of sign of life you see at any point is there's a half dozen goats off to one bit that will kind of stop and just watch you as you go by. Nothing else seems to happen at that point. At the end, towards the end of the day, you find yourself approaching the edges of the forest. And you can see there's a point where the plains and the forest are coming down and they're pretty much going to be meeting. So you'll have to pick to go through one of them, either through the mountains or the forest in the morning. But the day is moving on. Do you wish to push through or do you wish to find somewhere to lay camp tonight?
I think we should sleep.
Yeah, just at the edge.
unless-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless...
Are you looking for somewhere to camp down or are you just going to stop where you get to in the Ravensburger? I would say start with the first mag of holding and work your way through.
Which was what? Frozen Wastelands?
Frozen Waste, yeah.
Frozen Wastelands, yes. If you particularly need Frozen Wastelands or Gothic or Feywild or Pirates, go for that particular one, whatever numbers they are. I can't remember offhand. But if you just want them generally.
4 is fair.
Listen to the man, he knows. So if there's a theme you want, pick that, but otherwise start from the beginning and work through. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
So
we'll
if you're
look for just a sort of a bit of a nice place to sleep there.
Okay, go for it.
What do I do? Investigation? Or not investigation, survival.
I'm going to say survival again because you're trying to get out in the wilds, what you're attempting to do. It's just this kind of flat terrain at this point. You figured you might be able to push 2-3 hours more into the forest if you wanted, possibly. Or you're just gonna have to try to sort of like snuggle up close in the area. I don't think Ari's got. I don't think there's any kind of. There's no huts you can huddle into. I don't believe. Yeah, Ari hasn't got it.
What do you guys
So
think?
I mean, if it's not, is it close to dark?
It is getting on to dark now. You are going to have to push longer than you planned if you wanted to go into the forest and try and find somewhere, or up into the foothills, or the more mountainous terrain, I should say.
Iron Mind is even though being out in the open is bad, also entering the forest for the first time when it hits dark is probably not a great idea either. We don't really know.
Yeah, I think we can maybe push to like the edge of the forest and just
to be against some trees.
Yeah.
with a
Tired.
bit of wind cover. Yeah.
Right, fine.
One will carry you, friend.
No, it's fine. Not that bad.
Yet. If I can get everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw, then as you push
Oh,
into.
no.
Oh yes.
Constitution saving.
Let me roll.
Make a mug out of me.
14?
14. Yep.
17.
And what's everyone else rolled? Sorry, I mean sheets for the other two.
Can I give Prue my inspiration?
Yeah, no, I'm happy for you to do that in this circumstance.
Do you want it? It may. If like are we looking at like at a point of exhaustion here, or
Remembering that I use the exhausted condition, so you will suffer -1 to all your D20 rolls rather than disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, take it if you want it, man.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, go for it.
then you can roll again.
Jeez.
Come on.
I'm assuming in this instance with a -1 with the exhaustion, that won't go away on just this long rest. So I presume it would be the next one.
That one would be the next one, yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Yeah, you'll be able to gain and lose it immediately. That would be because by the time you've got to it settled down, you won't have had a chance to wind down enough, so you will have it through into the next day. It's hours to sheet at last for some reason. Sorry, it took forever to load her sheet. Right, pings. So Brew and Fronny. I suggest Brew, you're just doing so much running around trying to find somewhere. You just push yourself a bit too much. Fronny is just short legs, can't keep up the pace. We'll go with the narrative dice on this one. So you will both have the exhausted condition. Don't put it on your sheet because it's wrong. You'll just have to subtract 1 from any D20 roll you make until your second long rest. In this instance, yeah. So the ones where you push yourself into the night will push through to the next day. Most of the time, it will be just your next long rest. But because these ones are to find somewhere, and then make a survival check to see if you find somewhere as you go into sort of the edges of the Forgotten Forest.
Minus, I still think Brew's survival is going to be.
Yeah, Brew knows what they're doing.
I mean, I'm just flat.
10. Okay. Maybe you have to push yourself a bit too far to try to find. So you come across kind of a clearing, a bit where sort of like the ground's a bit more rocky. You can kind of get something of a cover, and you might be able to get like break some ferns off or something in order to just do something of coverage. Not a great position. Fortunately, the weather, unfortunately, the weather seems to be decent as you go into the night. So as long as it doesn't get too cold, it might end up being a bit of a snuggle pile by the end of the night to keep yourselves warm enough to get through. So not your best night's sleep, but I presume you're taking watches. Does anyone want to do anything before you go to bed this night? Or is it all just settling down for...
I'll just maybe examine my rapier, and that's not a euphemism, chat. I'll just examine my rapier a little bit maybe more closely than I have done in the past, just given that it did have an effect on that were creature and stuff like that. So just turning it over in his hands and just just more to pass the time than anything.
Yeah, and you don't see anything you haven't seen before. It's very well made. It's not magical that you're aware of. And again, you'll remember that when you it seemed to be once the creature you were fighting had been damaged, it seemed to be getting the hilt where that particular gem lies.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember the spelling of, so I can find a description of it for you. No, that's not the right thing. I will have to track down what the spelling is because I can't remember.
Yeah, there's no panic. It's just for flavour.
Yeah,
Really.
so it's kind of like, there's two or three. There's got a few of those semi-precious jewels laid out roughly in the kind of part of that kind of ornate pattern that goes over the hilt guard. And just that one stone seemed to have the effect that's the same as on your signet ring.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah, he'll just. I'm happy to take the last watch and get an early start in the day.
Okay. Ari can take the first one if you want to kind of split yours between you, or I can have just have the three of you each take a turn at rolling a perception check, with disadvantage for those who do not have dark vision.
Oh.
Or more?
Yes, variant human. So here we go.
I don't think I mine will read.
Ooh.
I think it is.
21.
19. Because he's human.
Oh yeah, 19. Yes, 19. I'll still give it to you on 19. You do notice that those goats seem to have. There's another sort of group of goats, another sort of half dozen or so, just quite a distance away, still out on the plains. But sure, you saw them earlier. But
are they
otherwise,
following us?
I mean, how well can you identify one goat to the next, Sir Richard?
How far away are they?
I mean, they are quite far. You can just about see them. You suspect you only just kind of, as the last light, or as the first light's coming up, you would have noticed they were there. I mind, that's again, let's say there's a point where you go for a longer walk or something, you just catch a hint of like a small flock of goats. You were last watched, weren't you, Sir Richard?
Yeah, he's considering going out to the goats and tying a piece of ribbon or rope around one of their horns.
Okay.
But he's not. No, but he's not going to do it. But he's definitely thinking about it.
Okay.
He doesn't trust goats.
That's fair. Okay. But now you go through the night. Brew, you kind of, there's a point where you're just kind of almost fallen asleep partway through your watch. And you kind of just at the end of it, like, I hope no one noticed. No one seems to notice. The route seems to be around. Okay. It all seems to be fine and good. Could someone just roll me a d20?
Yeah, Dave.
Coming at you, like Cleopatra. There's a 12.
Okay. Thank you. The next morning dawns. And you have the choice before you. Do you want to skirt around the edges of this forest or go across the mountainous terrain?
You wanted the mountains, didn't you, Brew?
No.
No.
Forest, yeah.
But I'd say let's get through the forest.
Okay. So we will move into the forest. This forest is fairly overgrown. Doesn't look like there's a lot of foot traffic for this forest, but you are finding there are these pathways going through it, which do seem like they might well have seen movements. So the pathways will go for a short while, then they'll just trail out. Like they'll go around a tree and they just won't come out the other side, or they'll restart from where two trees are crossing over. You see these, and as you kind of go into it more, you notice the pathways almost kind of disappearing. Do me a survival check, please, as you head deeper into this forest.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay,
Who's back, baby?
that's a good answer. I like that one. Let me just paste you into. So Brew would be leading.
Like the idea of Brew having on his wine skin like a coffee mug. Don't talk to me till I've had my moonshine. till he's had his morning 90 proof, 90% alcohol.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So we're going to put you there. Let's move you across onto this map.
Is there any lore as to why it's called the Forgotten Forest? There's no weird
They've forgotten.
magical effects that.
No, I'm not going to make you roll for this one. No, it's not.
Okay, cool. Just
you might be able to go at Candlekeep again. You might be able to research how it got the name, but to none of yours knowledge, and none of you know why it's called such at this point. So yeah, at this point it's around where do we? Let's say little after lunch. You might be just finished a quick rest stop, and with that survival brew, you can hear coming from the eastern side. There seems to be some sort of a bit of a ruckus, a bit of commotion. It feels like there's some sort of small creatures kind of stamping through the undergrowth.
Yeah, I'll
Off and to the
definitely
east,
let the
headed
rest.
your way.
Yeah, I'll definitely let the rest know, and then I'll just move a bit more there, a bit more
Okay,
east.
that's fine. Do me a perception check, and the rest of you can decide what you two are doing and what you would like. Arian for, and I'm going to presume we'll just kind of hang back unless you say otherwise.
That's fair.
8. Okay.
Do we all need to do perception or just?
You can do perceptions if you want. Now you've been alerted
Cool.
to.
Yeah, that's a 7. So, or
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God. That's an 8.
So Sir Richard, I don't know, maybe there was a bit of like leaf matter that got stuck in an ear last night. I've still been trying to clear it out all morning. The Iron Mind. Not only do you start to hear now the sounds of these small feet coming through, you can just make out the hint of singing, possibly some very high pitched scratch tone. Are we doing anything else, or are we just
I'm gonna
waiting
climb
for
a
the
tree.
And
Go for it.
this footwork. This
Yeah.
does it sound like is it sort of just sort of like circling the tree line? Does it sound like it's coming to? Like,
It sounds like it's moving through. It doesn't sound regular. It sounds with a 20. It sounds almost like someone's sometimes walking, sometimes hopping, sometimes jumping.
But
They'd stop, and then occasionally there'd be a bit more of a rustle, like someone had just jumped in a pile of leaves.
But the direction is, we know what direction it's.
Yeah, it's coming over. You'll notice it's coming out from over here.
Yeah. So I think Iron Mind will do his best. Signals the others. He'll do his best to hide amongst this tree.
Those who are hiding, make me stealth checks.
Yeah, so I'm up in the tree, crossbow out, hiding.
Okay.
And I think he will.
Oh God.
That's probably not a good idea to ready an attack because doesn't know that it might not be. I'm gonna have disadvantage on this.
Oh wow.
Oh, a double 2 minus 1 on both those.
Jesus.
That's wonderful.
Decided to
Love
hide
see
behind
it.
the tree in a T pose.
It's that thing, you hid behind the tree very well. Didn't know how thin it was. The other side of you still sticking out the other bit.
You just tried to climb a sapling.
yeah.
So there's that kind of moment of pause, and then there's a see you, and scuttling out. There's there. You see this figure. Suddenly, it's me. I'm on the wrong line. That'd be why. So you
What
see
the
this.
hell?
This wonderful Shift C, so everyone can see. There's this happy bouncy goblin appears. He's dressed all in pink, so this nice big pink pointy hat. He's carrying a stick that has a couple of like swirly ribbons attached to it, and a very kind of off-kilter 5-pointed star that looks like it's really badly cut out and scraped out of some sort of wood. Painted really badly with a bright yellow paint that obviously was just slapped on. Are we playing hide and seek then? I'm this way. I went this way. You can't see me. And he hides behind the stick.
More children.
Sir Richard's trigger finger just twitches ever so slightly. Does he just seem crazy, or does he seem like he's kind of winding up to sort of have a go at us?
Make a perception check.
Okay, coming at you. 21.
21. He seems crazy. Thought of that game. As he comes up to you, I might. Essence of aquamarine. Oh, hello. Your drink. You have drink. As he heads up to Brew, going a bit closer, go. Ooh. And you can see he's looking towards the water skin.
He takes the.
I know,
He's
just
really
at the right one moment for these bits.
And he's really not sure what to do. I think he has completely ill-equipped to.
Offer it some rations, my friend. Offer it some rations.
Yes, offer me some rations. That's good.
Iron
I like him.
will
I like him. He's very good.
offer.
Just be careful now. He doesn't snatch it off you.
He actually goes into a cartwheel, grabs it with his feet, and then is balanced upside down, trying to work out how to get it down to his mouth while balanced precariously.
Yes, they're rather
And
chewy, aren't
he
they?
just collapses, but he then keeps it, the rations in his feet and kind of like reaches his feet towards him, so he's just trying to.
That began rather impressive.
I
Are
might.
you in need of aid, little one?
Yeah. He's just like looking up at you as he's trying to gnaw a bit of jerky. Quite. Yeah. And that's what the sparrow said it. Can I have everyone make me another perception check?
So Richard's kind of thinking this could be a distraction.
Yeah.
He's looking around to see if anything else is snaking up on us.
I'm gonna say, I mind you notice there is more movement to the south.
He will
This sort of direction.
alert the others and say more coming.
Are they friends of yours?
He looks at you kind of up the way he's lying. He's upside down, looking up at you. You're on ceiling. How are you on ceiling?
Those fellows down there.
Huh?
Are they with you?
You kind of see he looks and goes, they want to be. They have to catch me first. And he will run and he dives down behind the log over here, bottom firmly in the air, just as his head's behind it. That kind of ostrich in the sand routine. You hear then the sound of chatter. So I mind as you go to there, you hear the sound of chattering. There's a. Do any of you speak Goblin?
Don't.
Let me check. Where are my languages?
Don't know if.
He speaks tavern.
You hear the sound of chattering that has a similar tone to the whatever this creature is that's pretending to hide behind a log.
Speech anyway.
Yeah, so you hear basically, and I'll reveal them, but what you see is you see these two creatures are kind of looking at each other, and they just seem to be doing that. You know when you're looking for something and you're not too bothered to find it, or you're not tied somewhere to look, and you think you've just been sent out on a fool's errand, and they're kind of like, and it's that thing of like they both kind of, as they see you, and you see the two goblins. And as they kind of, this kind of large, curved back, wolf-like creature in the middle of them just pause, and you just see the hackles when it start to rise.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And then one of them will see behind. And the one behind the thing goes. And then he looks over towards you. Hi, they can't see.
Okay.
This fellow seems odd, but they don't. They don't seem to want to do him harm, though they do have quite a large beast with them.
I say, chaps, are you looking for that vagrant over there? You point to the little goblin.
You just point over to him.
Yeah.
You hear the sound of coming from behind you.
I can see your arse, little fellow.
What he does then is he sits on his ass with his legs in the air. Ah!
Very good. Thoroughly.
So the two goblins are kind of go. You can see they're going. Oh yes, hang on. There's another language. We can speak it. We come from that one. He Arnerbog. We take him. He Arnerbog.
What does that mean?
Anyone who wants can make me a. I don't know what it'd be. History, I guess.
Boop. 17.
Good lord. Wow. Okay. Iron Mind. When they say Nearbog, it actually triggers something, and you go, oh, wait a minute, I've heard that term before. So a Nearbog, and it takes you kind of that moment to think it through. I did not expect anyone to roll 20, I'll be honest. It's actually a fey spirit that can only possess goblins. In doing so, it kind of turns them into like a totem of fortune of some regards. They fall out, and they are no longer bound by any of the kind of the kind of standard goblin laws, and they are seen as a sort of a blessing from the gods. That kind of madman who you have to keep with you for goodness, but you kind of have to deal with in the best way possible.
I think Iron Mind would probably recall if you're learning about how to control your mind, there's probably lore in the monastic order of it. This is a mindless, mad creature. So
I mean, essentially the spirit is not known. There's no known way to kill the spirit. If the body's destroyed, the spirit just kind of wanders till it finds, and it specifically can only target goblinoids. It can't target any other type of human.
So he wouldn't think that this little fella, the Nilbog, is in any danger. It doesn't seem like they would want him to do him harm.
The Nilbog at this minute is busy chewing on a stick. It's just pick a little twig. It's
but typically would be revered. Typically would be seen as a good thing to have a Nilbog. So it doesn't seem like. I think Iron Mind would say, that these Nilbogs are treated as something of a, divine, like a sort of a divine or a blessed figure. So I assume they don't want to do him any harm. So we could probably just let them take him. If that's all he's really concerned with, is whether in giving this guy up, whether they were going to, execute him or something.
No, it seems to be Sorry,
Sir Richard, coming from a place where he didn't really have much. Obviously, he was a noble, but he didn't have as much freedom as he would have wanted. Maybe feels a little bit of kinship for this now that he's heard that, and he'll kind of walk over and go, "Well, my friend, do you want to go with him?"
One. Oh, butterfly. You're still here.
Yes, those fellas, they've come for you. They want to take you.
Good for them.
Do you want to go with them?
Do you have food?
Yes, would you like a little bit of jerky?
I like jerky.
Catch. Let's throw.
One. He does that thing like, when a dog just totally misses when you throw something.
Hits them and they sort of snap like.
You see that thing where he's just not looking in all the wrong directions. Picks up a rock off on the starts prodding at trees with his star wand thing. I'm not
Jeez,
Jeez,
here on his own.
The goblins at this point are the wolf creature is just there. It's there's a steady sort of growl coming from it. The two goblins are kind of edging around very cautiously, watching all of you. Obviously, they're trying to get to this Nearbog. They're kind of we're just Nearbog, yeah. as they approach. I presume you guys are not sort of interfering as they walk around.
Nah.
I mark mine isn't unless the other party members have a
Okay.
problem with it.
So
Good
as they
luck,
get
chaps.
as they get to there, he kind of sees them. You can see him. He starts to walk towards them, and as he gets to there, suddenly he just takes off sprinting off out to the east, and there's like, what the? I made again.
Good man.
You see his voice disappear. They're like, and you see them chasing after it. They run off unless you're stopping them.
Bye bye, fellows.
Creature waits for a long moment, watching you all, and then adds off and follows.
If it's watching us, can Sir Richard do it?
Sure.
Just to sort of get a measure of its intelligence. If it reacts to that, then he would sort of assume that it has more than a sort of a creature level or beast level intelligence.
I'm actually trying to remind myself what their intelligence is.
Okay.
So it was in the process of turning away, and as you do that, it stops and it turns back to you.
Oh shit!
And you see there's just that extra bit of a.
Okay.
And then it hits it off on the side of it.
Okay.
It turns and it heads off that way. But yeah,
it got the reference. It
understood.
Oh,
it
shit,
understood
okay.
exactly what you were.
Fuck.
But it seemed, and then you hear the sounds of it disappearing off and out. And they seem to have passed out and gone on elsewhere. So for the next half hour or so, you might hear the occasional and then the sounds of the forest as you expect return, and you can carry on your journey for the rest of the day.
All right.
I like nearbox. They are so funny to play. Cool. We presume that you carry on through. Let me move you back to. So I'm just grouping you back up in case I need you again. Let's move you back onto the map. As the day progresses on, you reach as the dusk comes in. You would now be, you're pushing. Actually, it's sort of mid-afternoon. You will push out through the. Where are we up to? That was day one. That's day two, isn't it? So at the end of it, you're slap bang in the middle of it. You can see to the south. I'll say you're far enough south. You can see kind of it's starting to thin out a bit, and you can kind of see where you're getting to the edge of this forest. Where you certainly in the morning you should be able to enter the marsh. You believe. I presume you're looking for somewhere to rest up for the night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do your thing, my friend.
Auri will aid you on this endeavor.
Cool.
She looks a little bit more with it now. Frony still seems to be, whatever that teleportation thing's probably acted badly with wild magic, possibly. Very quiet the last few days. 24, nice. You actually come across an old camp. Even with a couple of tents that are a little bit mildewed, but are certainly functional enough. You can see the remains where there's an old fire pit. There is water, like a water pool not too far away, fairly shallow, but certainly functional enough.
Cool.
So you have a fairly decent campsite
And then
for this
tonight,
evening.
I'll use this to try and find some small game, like rabbits and stuff for us to eat.
Yeah, no, that sounds. Yeah, I'll say
Or a nilbug.
with that 24 survival, you've arrived in enough time that you're able to work out. You can see a couple of rabbit paths. You can be able to arrange some simple traps, or use the crossbow short bows that you all have.
Cool.
To capture enough as required. The water's already there, so it's just a question of heating it up. Yeah, so that's absolutely fine. So no rations used for anyone who are removing them.
Great.
I will uneat. That
You can
ration,
uneat.
right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
rations obviously
yeah.
that went to the Nurbog are lost, but
That was
essentially you can regain a ration that would have been lost in the last couple of days. And I'm happy for that just to be a thing now. You can just, unless we're in somewhere very extreme, I'm happy for Wanderer just to be.
Great.
And we don't need to worry about rations much further. We shall presume they balance out. Unless there's anything you want to do before you head off to your beds.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a moment with Iron Mind if that's cool.
Yeah.
Ah,
He's just sharpening his. I just realised he didn't have a whetstone. I saw that there for a copper. I had a spare copper, so I picked up a whetstone in the train.
nice.
He is just sharpening the
Yeah, so Richard realizes he doesn't really know a lot about Iron Mind, and so he's kind of going to try and rectify it. And he says, "Well, my friend," and he kind of looks at the whetstone, and looks at your sword, and looks at his rapier, and obviously he doesn't need to sharpen that. So he's just it's kind of sitting down. So what's your it seems like you've maybe been indentured into service or something. I mean, are you a free man, Iron Mind?
Not. This one suspects not in the sense that you are, Sir Richard. This one. Oh, his assigned master perished before this one could reach him. So, in that sense, this one was freed from duty. So, this one suspects that the order may come if to claim him.
And who are the Order?
The order raised this one, trained this one.
I see.
Taught this one.
If they came for you, Iron Mind, my friend, would you want to go with them? Or would you rather stay with us?
This one would not want to go with them.
I see. Would they? Do you think they would attempt to make you go with them?
Almost certainly.
I see. Well, should you need it, my friend, we will stand with you. Whatever your choice is, we will help you defend that choice. Friends, after all.
Friends.
Yes.
Thank you, friend Richard.
You're welcome, my friend. Where are they, your order?
Far away in the mountains.
Excellent.
Forgive. This one does not always understand you and the others.
It's all right, my friend.
Most of it, I mean,
Difficult.
There are many languages in this realm, and cultures and the ways people have about themselves can be a language in and of themselves.
He just I think he still has it. He may have left it at Candlekeep. There was the book that he has been interested in, which is essentially a book of cultures of Faerun, and it's basically an anthropological book, that he wants to learn about because he's now interested in all of these things and is questioning. He said, "This one, friend Richard, what are your earliest memories?"
Oh, my earliest memories. Probably Nanny, chasing me down Jason, yes. I had snapped up Papa's ornamental brooch. I was running down the it was the west wing of the castle, I believe, and on the 5th floor. Nanny, she's a rather large woman, but surprisingly swift for her size and age, you know. And yes. She grabbed me, caught me, pulled me close, and said she'd cut my throat if I did it again. Ever since then, she called me her little cutthroat. So yes, there was that, probably. Why do you ask, my friend?
This one does not have memories before the age of 10.
It's curious you can put such a number on it. But
No, this one...
what's your first memory then at the age of 10, my friend?
Chanting
Chanting.
in the sanctum.
Chanting in the sanctum.
This one awoke.
I see. And what were you
There was
wearing?
nothing before. I was wearing neophyte's robes.
I see. And the folks around you chanting, did they seem happy when you awoke, or?
The chanting was not disturbed.
I see. So, what happened then? They take you to begin your training?
Aye.
I see.
I
Do
wonder...
you think you'd like to recover those years, the memories of those years?
Sometimes this one...
I mind you have no wish, you don't want to reclaim those memories.
No.
Very well, my friend. I shall respect
This
that.
one did not exist before his awakening. Though
Well,
this one does feel there has been something of a second awakening.
a second
Since
awakening.
we met, all of us. Not as sudden as that first. To answer you, friend Richard, I think he sort of catches himself at first time that I've messed up a few times, but I think this is probably the first time that he says I do not want to return. And if they come for me, I'm not sure I will go.
Well, my friend, if they come for you and you don't want to go, you shall have my crossbow and rapier at your side. Your life is your own, as is everybody's in these realms, for better or worse. And well, we shall fight together, my friend.
If someone tries to cut your throat, I'll cut theirs first.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. I think you'd like Nanny. Good night, my friend.
Thanks. Yeah. Nanny. Father. Mother.
Oh, the gods, sleep! Just sleep, all of you!
Yeah, he will lay and stare at the stars until he falls asleep.
Good night, my friend.
Cool. Can I have perception checks, please? I presume that would be I Mind, Brew, and Sir Richard in that order.
Oh, lads, what is going on my roll tonight? A natural 1.
Oof, you hate to see it.
I
Okay.
hate to see it.
So Iron Mind, you spend a lot of your time kind of just thinking.
We have a raid.
Oh,
Welcome,
hello,
Laura
Raiders.
Nice one.
Hello.
Laura Bones,
Hi.
thank you for joining us.
Hello,
You've just hit
hello.
us in a quiet moment of reflection as our party make their way south towards a marsh to find a wizard's tower sunken into the earth. Hope your stream went well. We'd love to thank you for being here. I mind you also at some point in that you hear just a hint of haven't got me yet. Just running on by. So Richard, during yours, for some reason you can barely keep your eyes open this time around. All those thoughts of Nanny, you're kind of just thinking back to all those
soft beds.
Soft bed. She was a good hugger. Just that nice warm feeling. That childhood. That bit before you double digits and things started to go wrong, but at this point they were a good few years. Those early memories of yours. And again, you don't realize it. You shut yourself the same way that Brew did in the middle of their bit. Brew, for yours, there's a moment where you see a pack of bears stroll past just across the way, just like a couple 100 yards away. They just kind of slowly make their way through the forest. They don't seem to disturb you.
Cool. Then I don't disturb them.
Yeah. And the day dawns. Anyone who had a point of exhausted can remove that.
Cool.
So Franny looks a bit more with it now. They're still quite quiet. You're pretty certain you can still see occasionally there's something like their features just seem a little bit off. Ari's kind of keeping an eye on him. Cool, but you continue to push on. I presume, Brew, you are leading us through on this. Could I have a survival check, please? Excuse me. 24. Good lord. Easy pickings as you go through the rest of this forest. Even managed to pick up a bit, make sure your water skins are filled on the way past. And you break out through the tree line and you behold before you the marsh of Chelimber. This is, tens of miles across this marshland. Even before you get to it, you can see the pale white mist rising off it that just blocks. You can kind of see the odd shadow that might be tree. There's long grasses. As you step into it, you're glad, Sir Richard, that you bought those things to cover it. Yeah.
Yeah, he puts his booty things on.
Yeah, because the second you lift your foot up, there's mud splurts out.
Would you look at this? It's better be bloody worth it. My boots, I'm still going to have to get them cleaned, I'd say. And my leather trousers, look.
This is not a pleasant place to be walking through now. There's very little sounds of life as you pass out into the forest proper. There doesn't seem to be any, there's none of the birds and wildlife that you'd been dealing with previously.
I see.
And it's just this as you step into this marshland.
Are we like up to our shins here, or are we?
You're you're only kind of at this point. It's kind of just going over to the tops of the shoes a bit, somewhat. It's not too far into it.
Okay.
Ronnie's obviously struggling a bit more, but you can see it's kind of the land is uneven. It goes around. The trails that are obviously deeper, but there's points where it's just muddy as opposed to wet.
Are Mortar and Pestle wearing robes?
Mortar and Pestle are not with you. You haven't seen
okay.
them since the
I was
teleport.
going to say, if they were wearing robes, it would be like those flared jeans from the 90s or from the early 2000s. It's just get soaked from the bottom up.
And just this black big. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Fronny might. So Fronny definitely has that look of.
Yeah.
I
suppose we should keep going then, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you've got that kind of map idea where you need to go to. Owinian gave you a rough idea, so you're kind of following this thing as you step.
So I would assume then, if it's an island we're looking for, we should stay on the east side of this marsh, given there's a river running through that.
I mean, that's kind of where you're going to on those bits.
Cool, okay.
Can I have from everyone, please, a survival check to start as well?
Coming at you. Boop.
I'm not going to make the
20. I'll take the 20, yeah.
Nice. Bro, is that another natural 20 you've scored on this?
Oh my god.
Indeed.
Nice.
Wow.
Yep.
Sorry, where's my... sorry, what was it?
Christian has that Mark Corrigan API going.
Yeah. Yeah, go get me that. Got to get me some of that.
Yeah.
Got an API fix for me. That's the one I want. Let's move you. No, let's not move you.
It's a peat bog, not a mimic. I mean, it's a bit early for that, I think, to tell.
Okay, so let's get you to this point. So as you're stepping down through this marshland, the reduced visibility means you kind of stumble across the scene I'm about to move you to, kind of before you can kind of properly get yourselves situated. But kind of looming out of the mists, you see in front of you kind of one of those where the channels that were before kind of opened out a bit more now, and you can see just a little ways to the south of you there appear to be some bodies on the kind of outcropping.
Any sounds that are that would be different from from what we're used to now at this stage? The usual marsh sounds that we've become accustomed to.
Perception.
+3. What could go wrong?
Make a perception check.
That is a 10.
No, it's just this dead sounding landscape again.
So Richard has his hand crossbow out and loaded.
Can we see from this distance if those are fresh bodies?
Make a perception check to look for that. Within the last few days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
obviously,
they look to be, your guess is they look to be hobgoblins. I know the colour's wrong for them, but that kind of slightly larger than goblinoid. They're not entirely certain. They're not quite right. They're sort of different shades of green. The ears, as you get closer to there, Rich, you can see the ears are different lengths.
I will shoot one.
Okay. Roll me an attack roll, just for shits and giggles.
23.
It sinks into it. It's just there's no movement at all from this thing. There might be a bit of release of gases. So it's...
And he'll turn around and he'll sort of look at Iron Mind in one of those horror movie ways, like where he completely turns his back on the possible threat and he goes, "Good news, chaps, they're not undead."
That is when the tentacles start rising. Swamp water, I presume.
Yeah.
It's funny you should mention that. As Sir Richard has turned around from the south part of the island, you do notice that the two shapes start to rise up.
Oh dear.
And I actually am going to. I think we're going to finish here because I'd like the others back for this one. But just so you have an idea of what's appearing behind you, You will all see these two fun-looking gentlemen.
The fuck are they? Oh, undead, are they?
Let me do a quick that for you.
Undead.
Final image of the night. You see these tall, bloated-looking creatures coming out. And there is in their eyes, they see you guys, and something about you attracts their attention. But with that, on that lovely image to end the night, and we're going to call it there. So thank you all very much for those who are watching. Thank you, Laura Bones, for the raid. Very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Penny Dragon Games will be back tomorrow with the Golden Goose. Our very own Dave will be leading a new party of adventurers tracking down a war goose.
Yes.
Worth seeing, definitely worth seeing. For those interested to know what these creatures are, come back in 4 weeks, which is how long it is before we return on this one. And yeah, there are streams every Fridays, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and it's always a pleasure having you with us. We are going to raid on, I believe, to Ninu VT.
Yep.
I believe.
Stick around. Yeah.
Do stick around. Do let them know where you came from. We thank you very much. We hope you have a good time. We wish you all the best, and we will see you for the next one.
Good night, everyone.